Thanks for tuning in to our second episode of What Made You Tweet That? My name is Ethan Archer, and I'm joined by
Ben Boutwell.
We're the very talented, funny hosts of this podcast.
It's a pretty good podcast.
For those of you that are unfamiliar in this show, we are reading tweets and kind of discussing them. Last time I went through what Twitter was and what tweets are. I'm not going to do that this time. But we're reading these tweets that are, we thought were funny, got our attention, and we are coming up with, a backstory, discussing the tweet backstory, who the person that tweeted it might be.
Our end goal is to answer the question, what made you tweet that?
And for the sake of this show, even though Twitter is filled with bots, we are assuming that the tweet is from a real person.
And is not a joke.
But anyways, in today's episode, we are going to be asking what made you tweet that to tweets in response to or about sports.
I love sports.
Me too.
Nice. Shall we just jump right into it?
Let's just jump right into it.
Awesome. I'll start us off. I have a duology of tweets about fantasy football. How familiar are you with fantasy football?
I got friends that do it, but I've never partake.
Okay, me neither. I don't have friends that do it. I don't know the first damn thing about it. However, I have a duology of 2 tweets. Our first one is from Mama Jessie. She says, "Why would I pay for an escape room when I can feel trapped and confused for an hour by asking my husband about his fantasy football league?" The second tweet is from Kaj. Kaj says, "My wife hates beer and football. I can't believe I married such a vile woman."
What?
I would love to believe, first off, that these two are married. Can we get behind that train that these two are married?
So, okay. Yeah, I could see that. That's 2 tweets from a couple.
Let's dissect the first one first.
Yeah.
Why would I pay for an escape room when I can feel trapped and confused for an hour by asking my husband about his fantasy football league? Get a divorce. Why do I would never want to be married to someone that, first of all, talks about fantasy football, but just makes you feel trapped and confused anyway for an hour, and you can't get out of it by simply saying hey, I'm going to respect both of our times here. I don't care.
Right.
I don't know how in-depth fantasy football is, but I would imagine it's like Dungeons and Dragons for jocks. Is that an accurate statement, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you're essentially, yeah, I would say that's a pretty accurate statement.
I don't know. Anyway, then the second one, my wife hates beer and football. I can't believe I married such a vile woman.
Vile woman.
I love that this Kaj guy, mind you, his profile picture is of an image of a furry hand-drawn animal character who I can't imagine. Just doesn't seem like it's someone that would like football in the first place.
My wife hates beer and football.
I can't believe I married such a vile woman.
Huh.
Why would you go online
just like
and shit talk your wife? I don't know. Modern 50% of all marriages end in divorce, and I'm pretty sure that's where this one's going. That's where both of these are going. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I saw it on Twitter the other day.
Oh.
So it's got to be true.
Twitter frequent user.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I just thought I'd share those. If I had to answer the question, what made them tweet that? I think they're upset with their spouses, and I'm not a marriage counselor, but maybe take a break. Reading the bio of Mama Jessie, she's a mom to 4 and a wife to 1. And it says in asterisks, awkward silence. I don't think she's very happy with her life.
Are you paying? Who's paying for escape rooms though?
Do you pay for escape rooms?
Yeah.
I've never been to one.
Me neither. Okay. I don't really want to.
We also don't engage in fantasy football.
Right. Okay.
So maybe she just likes feeling trapped. I don't know.
So she's unhappy.
She's unhappy. She took it to Twitter.
A suburban white mom.
Perfect.
Okay, cool.
Perfect description there. And someone did respond to that one and say, see also my kid talking about Minecraft. You know, if you don't love the people in your life enough to like care about their interests, just...
Why are you doing it? Why are you in it?
Maybe you are a vile woman. I don't know. Whatever. What made you tweet that? They're upset. They're upset with their marriages. I think we can. Yeah. I think so. I think we can very, very confidently move on to the next. Move on to the next one.
My turn? Oh,
Yes.
Wonderful. Let's see. So now I got this tweet. I don't know. This one's kind of weak, but I'll save my better one for later on.
Okay.
This one's from Priscilla. It just says, my son's soccer team sucks ass for real. That's it. That's the tweet.
How old do we think Priscilla is?
She's got a son. I guess that's not really...
So at least if someone's old enough to be playing sports and they're old enough to suck, she's got to be like in her early 30s. She hasn't learned that like having a child is probably the most disappointing experience of your life yet. I don't know. What do you think?
It's just funny to tweet. Like, I just imagine someone like at their like child's soccer game. Just, man, fuck my kid's soccer team, bro.
What if her son sees that? That's where my head's
It's
at.
got 8 likes. It's got 8 likes. You
8
know?
likes. Dude, if I saw my mom
being like, my son's
tweet
soccer
that,
team sucks ass,
I would cry really hard. I think. I don't know. I'd be personally upset. I don't know. I don't think she should have gone to Twitter with that one. But
what made her tweet that?
what made her tweet that?
I don't know.
I think the common theme that we're starting to see here is that people who like sports are unhappy.
Unhappy, mean.
Would you agree?
Angry people.
Hey, they hate their families.
People that like sports. If you like sports,
You hate your family.
you hate your family and
you're
your son.
unhappy, and your husband.
And your son's soccer team probably sucks ass.
Yeah, you know they probably do suck ass, for real.
That was a little weak.
I think
I
it was
just thought
good.
it was funny. I was browsing through tweets and I'm like, my son's soccer team sucks ass.
Why would she tweet that? Honestly, I don't know.
I don't know.
Stumped.
Can we give that an I don't know rating?
That's a 4 I don't know. Is out of 5. Anyway, next tweet comes to us from. This is a little bit of a common theme here. You'll tell me if you can pick up on this one. This tweet comes to us from Lindsay Carlton. She says, if you're wondering what's harder to find in downtown Toledo during Mud Hens games, parking or Pokemon, the answer is parking by far. I think she's got a point. It's a little hard to find parking in downtown Toledo.
What's the Pokemon have to do?
That I don't fucking know.
Okay.
Our
Talk
second
about
tweet,
like Pokemon Go or something.
probably. Our second tweet comes to us from Jason Myers, 25. He says, just got called a white fuckboy in the parking lot for the Toledo Mud Hens. Lol. Fuck the Toledo Mud Hens. This is a very good. This is a very good description of what it's like to be in a parking lot at the Toledo Mud Hens games in downtown
Call a
Toledo.
fuckboy a white
Call a fuckboy. It's a hostile environment down there. Like I don't know. You don't know where you are. You can't find parking. You can't find parking anywhere. I looked this up because I looked at this tweet and I found it relatable because can you relate that the parking there is like abysmal?
I can.
So,
But I mean,
yeah.
every big city.
True.
Toledo's not really that big, but quite often.
You're there more frequently, this being a Bowling Green, Ohio
Toledo native
centered
as myself.
podcast. Yeah. Well, sorry,
Yeah.
Mr. Toledo.
Mr. Toledo.
Anyway,
The first one's just like...
the first one, complaining about parking. I hope Lindsay Carlton found a parking spot.
Me too.
Jason Myers, on the other hand,
Called a fuckboy.
we have to answer what made you tweet that. Obviously, he's upset he got called a white fuckboy in the parking
white
lot.
fuckboy.
I also would really love to know what made the perpetrator say that. Like, is that just Toledo energy, or or what?
I don't know. I'm not surprised by it getting called anything anymore. Like
That's fair.
people just shout stuff out, whether it's I don't know.
Yeah, they'd just be yelling at you, especially in the Toledo Mud Hens parking lot.
Shout out, fuck the Toledo Mud Hens.
Yeah,
That's what that guy says, not me.
In the
Of
parking
course.
lot specifically. I think if I got called a white fuck
fuck
boy in the Toledo Mud Hens parking lot, it would also tarnish the Toledo Mud Hens image in my head.
I just laugh.
You'd laugh.
Yeah,
It hurt a little bit.
being called a white fuckboy.
Yeah, by some rando.
I guess.
Okay, well,
What made him tweet that?
he's upset.
Who is he? Who is this tweeter?
Who is Jason Myers? Let's take a look. He's from Bowling Green in his biography. If anyone out there knows a Jason Myers,
tell me read their tweet on the air.
I want more of this story. It has one like. Didn't really blow up that much, but if we were to answer the question, what made him tweet this? I think I would too if I had that happen to me. So
Probably younger, like my description in my head, like younger person.
yeah, if he's willing to admit that he's from Bowling Green,
I'm gonna take a wild like stab in the dark
Mhm.
and assume that he might be white.
He might be white.
He might be. I don't
What
know.
if he's a fuck boy?
That's also a bold assumption, based on those tweets.
I think if he was to tweet this, it probably struck a chord with him a little bit. Like, what if it's true? Like, if I got
Maybe.
called it, they'd be lying. But if he gets called it, here's some context. His profile picture is assumingly him sitting on a motorcycle, and
Okay.
the Twitter banner is an image of a bunch of shirtless men, college aged. So maybe it's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine it's anyone getting mad at like being called a fuckboy, like by a random person.
That's fair.
It's just like, okay, whatever.
We can move on to our third tweet
I got a fucking good one.
from Ethan Archer.
Give me.
He's got
1
a fucking
second
good
here.
one. I think if I was to interject here for a second while you find this,
Keep talking, yeah.
I believe this episode we found our stride a little bit. The tweets here were more visceral. They were deeper. They were funnier, I think, than before. And I'd say that we're on a good path here. We've got a good thing, and I hope everyone's enjoying the experience so far.
Me too. I think I like the tweets a little bit better, but
I do.
I think I like the first ones. But this one might blow all that shit out of the water. This tweet, I can't find the original tweet yet. But it was in response to a tweet from Joe Biden. So
Okay.
first off,
The President of the United States.
how is this going to have sports in this reply?
I think that's
You
what
might be wondering.
we're about to find out.
Which I think we're about to find out. So this tweet comes to us from Dan Thomas on Twitter with the @ Dan Thomas 882-862-92.
That's a lot of numbers.
No profile picture. Yeah. Anyways, I had found the original tweet and it was just something about voting democratically or something. But this this tweet's really funny. So first off, there's just a picture of the January 6th insurrection, which is
Iconic.
still, how is sports going to be involved in this reply?
We should find
I don't
out.
know. But the tweet says, so it's this picture of the January 6th, the whole shebang, and it just says, the new Republican Party, period. Oh, and by the way, soccer sucks, and you're welcome for serving my country.
There's so much to dive into there.
Here's the January 6th insurrection. Also, soccer sucks, by the way.
It's in response to Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
Why would he say the new Republican Party with a period?
I mean, I guess I should find the tweet that it was into.
I think it's okay. I think the more you call it out, the more the worse it is. He does not. I cannot agree with the
I like soccer.
soccer opinion. I think soccer's interesting. There's a theory that it's only interesting to the people that have played it, but I'd like to think maybe he's boring.
Old white guy.
He served his country. He's probably got some stuff going on up there.
You think so?
I think so.
Why the soccer sucks?
His judgment is a little skewed.
Here we go. So the original tweet from Joe Biden is it says, next month's voters will have to decide. Democrats are working to bring down the cost of things talked about around the kitchen table, from prescription drugs to health care and more. Republicans are campaigning every day on an agenda to raise your costs. So nothing in that tweet prompts much of a response. That, like, anything in his tweet doesn't seem like it fits in the response to that. The new Republican Party, yeah, I mean, the January 6th is probably a good example of that. But, and by the way, soccer sucks and you're welcome for serving my country.
This is a bitter veteran that hates Europeans, I think.
Hates Europeans.
I think he hates Europeans.
Hates the world's
Soccer's
popular
the most
sport.
Popular sport in the world. And this man just cannot come to terms with that.
I guess so.
I think that's sad. He's missing out on some iconic culture.
You're welcome, like he served in the military.
I'm assuming
you're welcome.
so. I'm assuming so. How do you read that?
I think I wasn't sure what he was trying to talk about.
I believe he feels very proud of himself for serving our country.
Hey, good for him, but
great. I love our veterans.
What
but
does the January 6th insurrection have to do with in soccer to a tweet about lowering the cost of prescription drugs? I don't know. Bitter old white guy.
True.
Comes to Twitter.
True American hero.
Probably not many people probably saw this tweet. I had to go digging deep for some of this stuff. Like,
yeah.
It's like one of those like echo chamber things where people just like insane posts to no one else.
Literally nobody else. I think this poor bastard just hates soccer enough to take it to Twitter, and he's a little bit too into politics. Our next tweet comes from Tom at Bill's Devil Dog. He says, I was just telling my son about the time I was in a sports bar in New Jersey, making bets about football trivia with an army captain. My son asked me if New Jersey is a fun place. I said, fuck no. New Jersey is the urinal piss biscuit of America. This guy fucking
what a
hates
story.
New Jersey.
What a story.
I want to know what New Jersey did to Tom. I would love to know what New Jersey did to Tom.
Yeah, I was telling my son about the time I was in a sports bar betting
with an army captain
in New Jersey. But the New Jersey part wasn't really relevant until my son was like, is New Jersey cool? I said, fuck no.
This guy's taking a whole dig at New Jersey for... Also, what is making bets about football trivia?
Football trivia.
Is that like, I'd imagine you're in Buffalo Wild Wings, and that trivia game is playing on one of the TVs, and you just, like, you know what I'm talking about? The
little trivia that would come up and you could like play it on your phone.
This guy's, just here with an army captain making bets.
In the urinal piss biscuit of America.
And yeah, they were in New Jersey? Yeah, a sports bar in New Jersey, making bets about football trivia. How insanely specific. And ultimately, this guy just does not... I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I literally have no idea.
I'd say it's just funny. These tweets are funny because, I don't know, to me, because it's just like, I think the randomness. Like, again, I know, back to the whole, what made you tweet that? Why are you telling this on Twitter?
Literally. Well, I do think this one feels like a very natural progression of here's a fun little story that I can fit in 150 characters to let the people that follow me, know what's up. The 11 people that follow this guy needed to know this story. Needed to know that this guy hates New Jersey.
Recovering political junkie in his bio, by the way.
Yeah. At least it's not a political tweet.
Yes.
But I don't have any theories on what possibly. Obviously, he doesn't live in New Jersey, but he had a really bad experience there. There's so much to question here. I just don't. I don't even know where to begin. At all.
New Jersey's the piss urinal cake thing.
The urinal piss biscuit of America.
Biscuit.
Which is a pretty good insult, by the way.
That's a good one. I don't know. That's a tough one. It's a little doozy.
Yeah, that's a little whack. Our fourth and final tweet comes to us from ACH trademark globe emoji, or at stepbackac1. He says, I fucking hate basketball, the most overrated sport of all time. Like, who even cares about an orange ball going through a ring with a net in it? It's stupid. I should take up fishing and leave this boring-ass sport behind. Very contradictory, because I would argue that fishing
is more boring.
Is 10 times more boring than basketball. What do you think?
Yeah, I would have to agree.
Yeah.
That's a funny tweet. People getting mad is always funny.
I can't agree. I don't think basketball is the most overrated sport of all time, though.
Really?
You think it is?
It's definitely up there. In my opinion.
For being overrated.
For being overrated.
That's fair. But I don't know. I don't personally believe it's boring. I don't think it's boring by any means. I don't know what sports would be. I don't think I don't pay attention to sports enough to consider any of them overrated. I think they're all properly rated.
Right.
At the fact that I barely pay attention to any of them except for soccer.
But I'm going to assume, let's go to what made them tweet that. You think they got fucked over by something? You think they used to play basketball?
Probably.
Didn't make the cut on a tribal team?
This person's profile picture is a promotional image of James Harden, who is a professional basketball player.
Right.
So I have to assume they're in too deep already to be able to, switch to fishing or what have you. But they're very clearly upset. They're calling it boring. I don't think they got fucked over in any way. There's no such thing called fantasy basketball, so I don't think that they were screwed over in
Someone
that
get
sense.
on that.
Yeah, so we can have one of our interns look that up. No fantasy basketball decisions being made here. Maybe they're burnt out. I'd like to think that this person is probably burnt out of watching basketball if they've dedicated an entire Twitter account to analyzing and following the sport. Too much of anything is not a good thing. So
Maybe
I believe that they're fed up.
Maybe something happened. Maybe they were betting on a game and it didn't go well.
Maybe they were betting on basketball trivia.
Like fuck basketball, but God, this boring ass sport. No, nothing's happening.
Yeah, a game that ended in 0-0 points, maybe.
Right.
Actually, I think that one would be pretty interesting.
Younger person of sorts.
I have no.
In my guess.
I have no intuition there. I would have to imagine. I'd say middle-aged.
Really?
Because they have to have been around for a while to have seen a lot of basketball games, and I personally think it's gotten boring for them over time.
I don't know. I thought based off the language that it was a younger person.
That's fair. It is in all caps. The entire tweet is in all caps, which is not.
I fucking hate basketball.
Typically, you see something with younger people, unless they are, they're getting a point across. But I would like to think that it was a middle-aged, older person.
Okay.
That's just gotten fed up with the sport that they've poured a lot of their passion into.
Differing opinions there.
Yeah. We can always fight about it.
Right. It is in the contract that we have to fight it out.
So, what made them tweet that? I'd say that they're bored with the sport. They're fed up, and now they fucking hate basketball.
And I disagree. I would have to say that it's a young person trying to be stupid. Funny, maybe.
I think we can agree to disagree.
Being like, man, fuck this sport. All they do is shoot balls in the rims.
With a net in it.
With a net in it. That's all the time we got for today. Thanks for tuning in to What Made You Tweet That. We'll be back next week talking about video games. Tweets to video games. Thanks to Phil Beskid for letting us record in the WBGU radio station. Thanks to Ben for hosting, researching, and editing.
Thanks to Ethan for hosting, researching, and editing.
Special thanks to Nostalgics for totally allowing us to use their remix in the intro and outro.